Mark 6, 1 to 3. Jesus left and returned to his hometown Nazareth with his disciples. The next Sabbath, he began teaching in the synagogue, and many people who had heard of Jesus were amazed. Say this word with me, amazed. And they asked, how can he do all these things? They were in wonder of Jesus. Where does he get such wisdom and power to work these miracles? They were amazed, right? But check out what happens. It shifts. Isn't he the carpenter, the son of Mary? Aren't James, Joseph, Judas, and Simon his brothers? Don't his sisters still live here in our town? The people then were, what? Upset. Say upset. They were upset because of what he was doing. Isn't this crazy? The people were first amazed with Jesus, and then they were upset with Jesus. Sometime back, they were amazed by the same Jesus, and after some time, they're upset with the same Jesus. How come? How is that possible? Have you ever faced something like this? Has it happened to you? That you are amazed with this one person, and then after some time, you get upset with the same person? Happened to you? Happens all the time in relationships, right? All the time. You're amazed when you see that girl for the first time. You're amazed by that girl. She looks amazing, right? When you meet her for the first time, you can't stop thinking about her. Your thoughts, you start making plans. You start thinking about possibilities. I'm going to get married to her. I'm going to have 5 kids with her, right? I'm going to go on an exotic holiday. You get amazed. You're so amazed, right? And after you get into a relationship, I should say if you get into a relationship, but, because people who are amazed usually don't actually do anything, but especially with girls, okay? But after you get into a relationship, you start getting upset, right? It's with almost everything in life. Think about this now. The car that was once a dream has now become a disappointment, right? That job that once was your prayer has now become a pain, right? That team that we were so excited to serve in church now becomes a burden. And you're like, do I have to serve? People come to Limitless Church from all parts of the country. Every city in India, we had so many people visiting from different cities, and that's amazing, right? Because Goa, look, and they might be on a holiday, and holidays in Goa are expensive. And yet, Sunday morning, they'll be here at Limitless Church. And I'm amazed by that. I go to them and I say, this is amazing. And they say, no, Pastor, this is amazing, right? They're like, we planned this. Limitless was on our list of things to do in Goa, which is amazing. I'm amazed by them, they're amazed by us. This is amazing. But I also know some people who are from Limitless Church, who have been part of Limitless Church, and this is how they wake up in the morning. Do I have to go to church today? I don't feel like going. I went once in this month, so I'll stay with my dog. I'll stay with my cat. I'll stay with my boo. I'll stay with my ba. I don't know. Babe. I'm old. I'm getting old. Right? What's the difference? The difference is this thing called amazement. And the problem is that we've lost our sense of amazement. Just like the people of Nazareth lost their amazement, people of Limitless Church sometimes lose our amazement. And that's the problem, right? That's the problem. Say amazement. And amazement is one of the most important things in your walk with God. You won't hear this in any church. You won't hear this in Christianity, in popular Christian culture. But I can challenge you. The reason why most things don't happen in life, one of the reasons is this thing called amazement. I'm going to show you because check out what Jesus says here. In the words of Jesus, what does he say? He says, he was surprised that the people did not have any faith, right? Does he say faith? Yes. Jesus is saying people of Nazareth did not have any faith, right? How does he know that? How does he know? He's talking about faith. How does he know they did not have faith? He's talking about the level of faith. How does he know their level of faith? by their level of amazement. Because they lack amazement. Because they lost their amazement, and that's the reason they lost their faith. Amazement is a huge value for me. That's why when you yawn in church, when you're distracted in church, I feel like pinching you. Really pinch you hard, not the cute pinch. I don't cute pinch anyone. Right? That's why when you don't respond in church, you're distracted on your phone, you're all the time zoned out. When you're not excited, I get frustrated. Why? Because your excitement is an indication of your amazement. And your amazement is an important part of your faith. What is faith? You know what is faith? Definition of faith, Christians. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is two things: substance, evidence, right? What is evidence? Picture, a mental picture, right? Imagination. It's a picture of something that you want to happen. Evidence is imagination. What is substance? Substance is a feeling. It's a feeling of hope. It's a substance of things hoped for. Substance is a feeling of hope. Substance is an emotion of hope. Substance is amazement. Substance is your amazement. And your amazement is a huge part of your faith. And when you lose your amazement, you lose your faith. What is the devil after? Your amazement. That's how Eve was tempted, because she was amazed by what the enemy was offering her. God offered every fruit in the garden. The devil offered her one fruit, and she was amazed by this one fruit. Because she was amazed by this one fruit, she ignored all the fruits that God was offering. When you're amazed by what the enemy is offering, you will ignore what God is offering. When you're amazed by what the enemy is giving you and what he's doing in your life, you will ignore what God is doing in your life. And you will not receive from God. Because whatever you're amazed by, you will attract. If you're someone who's always talking about problems, guess what? You're amazed by problems, and you will attract problems. If you're always talking about the things that the enemy is doing, oh, the devil is attacking, he's doing this thing, that thing, guess what? You're amazed by what the enemy is doing, and you will attract only what the enemy is doing. I was tempted, because I was faced with so much attacks in the last one and a half months. I was tempted. I was telling my wife, this is so unusual. And I was tempted to, fight the devil. I was tempted to fight. But then I said, you know what? I am not giving the devil any of my attention or any of my amazement. I am reserving my amazement only and only for Jesus. My amazement is only for Jesus. Devil is after your amazement, right? You know why he was cast out of heaven? Do you know the devil was an angel and he was in charge of worship in heaven? He was a worship leader, y'all, right? But do you know why he was cast down or cast out? Because he wanted attention. He wanted amazement. And guess what he still does? He still wants your amazement. He still wants to captivate you by what he's doing. Maybe not attractive things, but even bad things. Reserve your amazement only for Jesus. Don't lose your amazement, because the moment you lose your amazement, guess what? You lose your faith. And you're asking the question, why is it not happening? You ready for the shock? This will shock you, okay? Why is it not happening? Because Jesus cannot make it happen. He cannot. Can God do all things? No. Ooh. Jesus cannot do your miracle. Jesus cannot heal you. Jesus cannot prosper you. Jesus cannot bless you. He's not able to. Shocked? Angry with me? You want to throw a slipper at me? You want to make a hate video out of me? Let me show you in the Bible. Same story. in the Bible. Same story. Check this out. Jesus could not do any miracles there except lay his hands on a few sick people and heal them. The Bible says Jesus could not. Bible doesn't say Jesus would not. Bible doesn't say Jesus did not. Bible doesn't say Jesus, it was not his will. Bible says Jesus could not. And I checked in every translation of the Bible. I checked every denomination. Every denomination says the same thing. Jesus could not. In fact, some translations say he was not able to. To say that Jesus is not able to do something is an oxymoron, right? It's unbelievable. It's impossible, and yet it happened. It happened in Nazareth, and it's happening in your life as well. And the sad part, it's happening every day of your life. He cannot do things that he wants to do. He wants to bless you. The reason he went to Nazareth was to do miracles. He did not go on a road trip. The intention of Jesus to go to Nazareth was to do miracles. Miracles were on his list. Miracles in Nazareth were on his list. Miracles in your life are on his list. Jesus has a list. You know how Jesus comes to church? With a list. List to bless you. But he looks at the list and he looks at you and he sees you entering church late. And he sees you bored. And he sees you without amazement. And he sees you distracted. He sees you on the phone. He sees you wondering. He sees you yawning. He finds you without amazement. And so Jesus cannot do what he wants to do. Right? You wake up in the morning without amazement. You walk into church without amazement. You get into worship without amazement. You're listening to the word of God without amazement. Right? You know what pains me the most? It's not that you don't respond. It's not that you're like shy and sad. What pains me the most is that Jesus wants to do so much in your life, but you stop him. The only creature, the only species in the universe who can stop God is you, and you are stopping him. That is what pains me. Every Sunday, Jesus comes with so much plans to do so much in your life. I want to bless Sunil. I want to bless Adi. I want to bless Helen. I want to bless Ash. I want to bless Shamida, Drusel, Marvin. He wants to bless you every Sunday. He comes with plans. He comes with amazement. Jesus walks in here with amazement, and he sees you without amazement. So the Son of God, God himself in human form, cannot do what he wants to do. The same God who created the universe with words cannot do what he wants to do in your life because you sit there without amazement. That's why you're missing out. That's why it is not happening, because you're missing the it, and the it is your amazement. You are not amazed at Jesus. That's the bad news. You want to hear the good news? The good news tells me that Sunday is still not over. The good news tells me that this service is not over. The good news tells me that there's still about 5 minutes left. The good news tells me there's still a worship set left. There's still one song left. There's still an opportunity, because here's the good news. Jesus has not left the building. The miracle worker is still here. This list is still here. He still wants to do it, and he's waiting. 5 minutes. Can they be amazed in me? It can still happen. It can still happen. Limitless Church, it can still happen. Limitless Church, it's time to bring your amazement back. Tell yourself, am I amazed with Jesus or what? It's time to raise your amazement. Can we be amazed? Can you make a noise? Can you scream undignified? Come on. I am not going to stop. I can see I can see every face from here. And I'm not going to start worship without a noise from every single person in this room. If this is a church that I pastor, I want this church to be a church that is amazed in Jesus'